This presentation explains how your prescription drug coverage works. If you have questions, please contact the Trust Fund Office at 1-831-757-5265. You will now have an incentive to use the most cost-effective prescription medications. This is one of 3 benefit changes that are effective as of October 3, 2011. Be sure to watch the other videos on this site to learn about the additional program changes. If you take the time to understand why the changes are necessary and what you need to do, you will save money without sacrificing any quality in your care. Let's start by talking about the rationale for making changes to our prescription drug benefit program. You probably know that the cost for prescription drugs can vary greatly, depending on whether you use a generic or a brand medication. Here's an example for drugs that lower cholesterol. On average, a 20 milligram prescription of the brand drug Lipitor costs $170 for a month's supply. The generic drug Simvastatin costs just $15. This is a difference of $155 per prescription. A generic drug is a copy of a brand name drug. Its active ingredients are identical. To get approval from the Food and Drug Administration, a generic drug maker must prove its medicine is equal to the brand name product in safety, effectiveness, quality, and performance. Not every brand name drug has a specific corresponding generic drug. However, there can be several generic drugs available to treat a condition or illness as effectively as the brand medications you may be taking now. And a generic drug typically costs a lot less. So starting in October, your Benefit Trust Fund will introduce a new list of covered drugs. The covered drug list is known as a formulary list. The new formulary list will include the most cost-effective drugs for treating various classes of conditions and illnesses. For example, drugs to lower cholesterol, drugs to treat allergies, and drugs for diabetes. The list will include mostly generic medications. You will pay a $4 copay when you use a drug on the formulary list, and you will pay the full cost for a drug that is not on the formulary list. And if you need specialty drugs, for example, if you are facing cancer or another complicated illness, you will continue to use the Prescription Solutions Specialty Pharmacy Service and pay a $150 copay for these drugs. If you are taking medications that are no longer on the formulary list, talk with your doctor right away. Ask if there are alternative medications available to treat your illness or condition. If appropriate, ask your doctor if you can try an alternative. However, if your doctor has determined that your non-formulary drug is medically necessary, he or she can request an exception. And when approved, you pay the $4 copay for your drug. You or your doctor can call Prescription Solutions at 1-800-711-4555 to start this process. We encourage you to use the Prescription Solutions website, www.prescriptionsolutions.com. You can register to set up a personalized account and manage your prescriptions online. You can also learn more about your medications and compare the differences in generic versus brand name drug costs. You'll also find the formulary list online, which you can share with your doctor to make sure you pay the lowest cost possible for your prescription drugs. You might also take a look at the Consumer Reports website to learn more about the differences between generic and brand name drugs. Go to the Health section of www.consumerreports.org and click the link to the Prescription Drug section. You'll find unbiased comparisons of generic versus brand name drugs. You can also compare the averaged cost for drugs and get information about the different drugs that may be effective for treating your condition or illness. If you have questions about your prescription drug benefits, call the Trust Fund Office at 1-831-757-5265. You can reach a representative Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. We also hope you will take a look at the Fund's new website. You'll find information about your health and prescription drug benefits, how your Benefit Trust Fund works, and links to program resources. And thanks again for taking the time to review this presentation.